Hey guys, alright, today we're going to go through just some very basic editing of how to make your drone footage look good, and so you're able to post it to social media, you're able to post it and so friends and family can enjoy it as well. More often than not, what we see is a lot of people buy drones, it's a fun hobby, but where the lack of execution is actually editing the footage and putting it out online. Now, this particular program that I use is Final Cut Pro, but there will be a lot of similarities. This is going to be very top level to other editing programs, whether you're using Adobe Premiere, whether you're using iMovie, whether you're using the DJI stock footage editing program, or if you're even using something like the GoPro editing software, etc. It will all be very similar. Once again, we're going to keep this very general, very high level, and very basic, so you can edit your footage, have it look good, and able to post it online. So what I'm going to start off doing here is I'm going to go into my library. I'm going to select some of the aerial drone footage clips I captured, and so I have these clips up here, and I'm just going to select a few of those. I don't want that one, so I'm going to select that one, and then these ones here. Now down in this space, every editing software will have what they call a timeline. So this is where your final product comes together. So this is the stuff I have saved on my hard drive. So if you're using your phone or an editing software on your phone, this is the stuff you have saved to your phone. And over here, don't worry about these right now. These are transitions. Basically you can kind of choose which transition you want between the clips, but we'll get that in a little bit. Up here is a preview screen showing me exactly what I have. So I'm going to take these selected clips, I'm going to move them down to the timeline, so these are now part of the final product. So as you can see right away, as I go through here, and I can always hit play to watch this footage in real time. So see, it kind of stops there. I'm flying the drone out to really get it set up for the shot. I always like recording a little bit before and a little bit after my shots, just in case for editing purposes. So small little nugget tip there. So as I go out and set up for the shot on this river, as soon as you can see, I start to go backwards and actually get the shot. So as soon as I start to move backwards, it's really where I want to stop. So right where this red line is right now, which is where I am currently on this, is really where I want to stop. So I'm going to highlight this clip, and I'm going to edit this. So I'm making this smaller now. As you can see in the preview screen at the top, it's showing me what I'm editing out. And I want to stop right about where that red line is, like we discussed. So I'm going to also assume that this has a bad ending to it as well. I prefer not to have myself in the shots. So let's go ahead and we're going to cut this right in the middle. Now, all software has a split function or a blade function. It's called several different names. So this particular software, there is a blade function. iMovie has a split function. The DJI software has a split function. Basically what it is you hit the split function, and then now your one clip becomes two. It actually divided it right where that red line was. So since we want to dial this back a little bit, let me take this clip, and I'm making it shorter to go backwards, and I'm going to stop just about before the bridge. So you can see the bridge there. I'm going to stop right there. So now let's take a look at this little clip. So it goes backwards past the tree. Beautiful. And then now it stops right before the bridge. Okay. Now, conjunctively, we want to also edit myself out of here. And it looks like the bridge is going to be in this shot for quite some time. So what I'm going to do is right about there, the bridge is barely visible. That's where I want to start this shot. Now, on the end of this shot, looks like it goes above the trees. It kind of stops and rests for a second. So once again, highlight this clip. I'm going to drag it backwards this way. Change the ending point. And I'm going to change it right when it goes over the trees there. Great. So now, let's look and see what we have so far. This is going to be a little faster than normal speed. And it goes boom. So that's a little bit of a jump there from one transition to another. But we'll take care of that in a bit. Let's worry about right now getting the footage that we want. Later, at the end, we'll install some transitions. All right, so next clip, highlighted in yellow currently on the screen. So it looks like we start here with the bridge in view. So once again, I'm going to edit this part. And I want to get that bridge out of the view right there. All right. This clip currently goes on. Beautiful sweeping shot of the scenery. And then goes on for quite some time. And then see there? Now, this is a common mistake I see with beginners all the time when I'm looking at Instagram or YouTube or Facebook or anything like that, social media platforms. So kind of a rookie mistake in editing is a lot of people leave this type of thing in. See where it stops, it pans down, pans over. To me, that's just very sloppy editing if you leave that in there. So I think the way I like my particular videos, I'm injecting some of my personal opinion on this. So I think that it should be, I like my videos to be relaxing because most of my videos are nature. So I am actually going to stop before that section. I do not like having that section in the video at all. So I think once again, I think it's just sloppy editing if you keep that in. So let's back up quite a bit. And now you can see here when I'm actually flying, I'm going forward, but I'm also raising the gimbal up. So it's panning very slowly, just slightly up as I'm flying forward. So doing like two movements at once. And right about there, I don't know if you can see that, the gimbal stops. That means it's all the way up. So I'm actually going to stop the video right there before it reaches its ending point, before the gimbal like maxes out. So I'm going to take this end of this footage and I'm going to dial it all the way back to right about there. And the red line is just really kind of giving me a guide of where I want it to be. So let's now look at this real quick. Look at this ending. I'm just going to start the video right where the red line is. Hit play. Goes up. Nice and beautiful shot. Boom. Okay, good. Done with that one. Pause. Let's go to this clip here. So as you can see, we're starting off on top of the bridge. Let's see what happens with this particular clip. Let's just watch it really quick. All right, looks like I'm setting up the shot. Goes forward, over the river, bird's eye view down, then into the trees. Now, I quite certainly could leave the trees in there. It's not harming anything, but I really want to focus on the river for this particular shot. So let's go back to the beginning. We already know that where you want to stop it right before I start flying forward. So you can see right there it starts moving forward. So let's just go in a little bit so the drone can get up to speed. And I'm actually going to leave the bridge in this particular one. And let's stop it right as soon as the river gets out of view. So let's go back up a little bit here. So right about there, maybe a little more. I don't like you can see the road prominently. So I'm going to back it up so you cannot see the road very well. There we go. So boom, then we're on the next shot. Now this particular shot looks like it may just actually be pretty much the same shot but going the other direction. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. No sense of having the viewer see the same shot twice in a row. So this is what we have so far. We got this shot going down the river. Kind of a big jump edit from there to there, but it does look like it's continuing because it's kind of the same motion. It's the same viewpoint. Goes over the trees. Now we got this nice cinematic sweeping view over the snow-covered trees. And then we jump to this last edit here, going over top of the river, bird's eye view down, and that looks nice and simple. Now I think it's part of the editor's job to create a certain mood with the video. Now, quite certainly, like I mentioned previously, I like my videos to be a little more relaxing. So I generally have longer shots. I generally have more cinematic, like sweeping shots. I also have very gentle transitions, and we'll get to that in just a second. You can also have a little more choppy transitions or jumping transitions, a little more rapid if you want your video to be a little more faster pace, a little more high energy. If you're doing a sports video, or if you're doing kind of like just a quick montage, like adventure video, you see that a lot. So, but I like my videos to be kind of relaxing. So, one of the transitions that I like to use is cross dissolve. It's a very basic transition, and this software actually gives you kind of a preview. But most editing softwares have cross dissolve, or you have fade into the other videos. So for instance, like a fade would be like it goes from like one clip to the next, and they do pretty much exactly what this does. And I'll show you here. Choose a cross dissolve, drag it in between these clips. Now let's just watch how this goes. So what you're going to see is this clip here, when it ends, will fade out, and as this clip here fades in. So it's a very nice, it dissolves. It's a very nice, smooth transition. See how pretty that was? I like that for my nature videos, but a lot of people, you can choose whatever you want, whatever you decide. Some people like editing to beats. Do whatever you want to do. Now let's also here, I'm going to put this cross dissolve in. So one other tip that I do see a lot of people making mistakes on, especially when they first start editing, is they look through like a plethora of different types of transitions, and they start applying like all sorts of wacky stuff. Like every transition behind a clip is like a different one. Like, oh, I like this one. This one's really cool. Or I like that one. That one's great. It's to have like an overall feeling or an overall mood created by your video. I believe that you should be a little consistent on what dissolves and what your footage is actually showing. So for instance, here I'm showing nice relaxing footage. Nothing really is me running or doing snowboarding or doing sorts of other crazy stuff. Like, it's all very relaxing, tranquil footage. So if I had that type of footage in here, it would obviously be a totally different type of video. So let's go back to this particular edit here. So we have this big jump. So we're going to do something a little more creative here. Something basic, but a little more creative. Is I'm actually going to go find a transition here that I like to use for this particular type of shot. See, these pans are pretty good, but I'm going to go to... See, zoom in. No, we want zoom out. So zoom out. Whoosh. Okay, so zoom out. Now what you're going to see here is, if I did this correctly, you should actually see it would be almost like a quick fast forward effect. So let's go ahead and we're going to watch this in real time and see what it looks like. So it's going down the river. Boom. Comes right there. Looks really good. I actually really like that. It almost looks like it was fast forward for just a second. So I think that's cool. Continues on with the same shot. Then we have our cross dissolves inside of here. So something I like to do at the end of the videos is I like to fade to black. So I'm going to add that in here. And it just kind of lets the viewer know, at least in my opinion, lets the viewer know that the video is now over. Thanks for watching. Video's over. So let's go back to this jump edit. We got a couple things to do now with some audio. So you want to add music to it, you want to add sound effects to it, whatever the case may be. So let's add some audio in. First thing we're going to look at is this jump edit right here. Alright, now with this little clip here, so we still have this transition, and I want to give this like a nice whoosh effect. So almost like it's being quickly fast forward for a second. So up here in my sound effects, and you have sound effects in a bunch of different areas. Sometimes you have to have them, if you're using your phone to edit, you have to have them downloaded to your phone library. There's a lot of free sound effects you can download. So we have this fast whoosh here, swish here. Let's try that. I like that. Let's try maybe a couple others. It's too long. It's too echoey. That one's just terrible. Let's go back up to the fast one. All right, I like that one. Let's drag it down here. Let's put it in our timeline. Let's hit play and watch how it goes. Oh, way too early. Way too early. So let's go ahead and dial that back a little bit. Let's watch it again really quick. Hit play. I like that. I like that. See how that gives it like a fast forward effect. Like we just really quickly move the drone back all of a sudden. So I like that a lot. Now what we can do is we can actually add some music as well. So let's go ahead and add some music here. So this green down here is our audio track. And I'm going to actually just like we did with the video clips, I'm going to take it and move it all the way back just towards the end of this video. Just for my reference, you can eyeball that, or I like using the red editing line to kind of help me out. Now this little circle right here that pops up, and I'll show you, this little circle right here, most editing software has this. What you can do is you see there's two different edits. So I have this where I can drag the whole clip, right, like we did with the video. And I have this where it's just the arrows over top of this little circle. Now what that does, it actually fades the music out. So I can fade the music out, make it a nice ending of the video. I'm going to fade it out starting at about 5 seconds, so it gradually just moves on out. Also, I know this audio is a little bit loud, so I'm actually going to take it. I'm going to dial it down a little bit and turn down the whole entire audio. We really want people to focus on the video in this, not necessarily audio. The audio is just adding to the video. So I'm actually going to fade the front in a little bit, maybe about 1.5 seconds. And so now let's go ahead and look at our entire video here. All right, that looks pretty good. So not too bad versus a really quick edit. Of course, if you have any questions, there's my Twitter link as well as Instagram. You can, private message me, try to answer any questions you may have, or you can leave them down in the comments. More than happy to respond to those as well. But just some really basic overall tips that really apply across all editing platforms to help you take your drone footage that you've been capturing after buying an expensive piece of equipment and actually getting it out there for people to view. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.